Good evening. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hi guys. So happy morning. We have many conversations today, huh? Yeah. So or maybe this goes together. So so guys, wow, huh? Oh look, this is cute. So guys, many topics, huh? Like it's weird, many topics, but also many that are not. I look like a spy, really? Nobody. It's very discreet outfit. Yeah, very discreet. Nobody knows me. Yeah, no. Right. So just weird. The lipstick's kind of over. You know, when you do that, the thing that is off. Oh my god! I'm not gonna pay attention. I was going to be like this the whole time. Yeah. So yeah, it's just like this. Of course, it comes from the same store I always go, Forever 21. So they had. I always like novelty things, kind of new things. So I saw this. I was like, it would be fun to have it. So guys, wow, huh? So many information. So we just kind of have a pen here for notes. It's interesting, guys, that I wrote that long post about the difference between the visions and the cards, and it's something that I don't get to really articulate, really think about it too much. Obviously, it's different, but I think both have their advantages. I do think that visions are, I don't know, it's I guess pure, right? It's pure in a way, but cards also are fun in a way when it's more people, okay? Like who got audience. So okay, so then guys, okay, so this is since first I wrote that post and I posted it and everything, and of course there's more new topics ever since I posted it. Okay, so then the new topics are, and I saw you guys were talking about it. Okay, that one of them is the North Carolina voter fraud, which is very blatant. Okay, you probably saw it, right? It was horrible. Because it was just horrible. You saw that basically they stole absentee ballots. Did you see what they did? It was so blatant. It's like they were so blatant. It's unbelievable. But then thankfully the election commission is, I guess, declining to accept the election. Okay, because they stole it. Like, oh, I'm here to pick up your ballot. Yeah, no, they take it. Can you imagine? Terrible. So we're gonna find out. Okay, so this, tell me about this election fraud. Are this, what will happen here? Because guys, remember, exactly, it's always like, and it's like, guys, not say this, but to me, I'll just be honest, okay? The whole civil rights movement, when you think about it, it just, from what I know, it was about usually, it seemed, even a few years ago, it's like, wow, it seemed like so far away. Wow, people couldn't vote, huh? But then you realize when people wake up, like me, I told you I woke up recently, that this has been going on forever. And this is the main reason why the whole, it's just about voting, because they don't want people to, they're so desperate. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. Can you imagine the desperation? Unbelievable. Like they really, it's so huge for them because they can't win. So they have to steal. They don't want, okay. So what's going to happen? Because guys, remember, I still, I'm not going to ask it again because I feel like I've asked this so many times. I always ask this question. It's one of my favorite questions, is whether these voter fraud people are going to be caught. Okay. So because it's just so wrong. It's so wrong. It's very upsetting. I mean, every day there's hundreds of things you'll be upset about, but this is like one of my, I wonder, if this is the beginning. Because then you have this, you have Georgia, we have Texas, we have all these things, okay? So that's one of them. The second topic that came up, guys, this is really, really interesting, okay, is this emoluments clause in the Constitution, okay, that basically they're suing Trump and his company, right, his hotel. And so, yeah, and then they're trying, basically, guys, you know what's so weird? It's like, it's like you realize how even for us, it's very, you know, they push it so that they try to make us think that it's normal to be like this. Okay, so then he steals so much, right? It's like all these, like all kinds of, I can't imagine if we start counting the levels of corruption, whatever corruption Trump does, it's like we can't do that. Okay, so then one of them is that they were after the hotel in Washington D.C. because they're arguing that this is a way that he curries favors with foreign powers, and that's so they're basically, so the judge said, gave the okay for the subpoena. Okay, so that's great, because then it's like we're going to discovery phase, right? So all the information is going to come out. Yeah. Can you imagine? And then I was reading this thing that said that, so he rents the post office, old post office, as the building of the hotel. So he rents it from the government, and it said apparently there's a law that says anybody, a person who is in office cannot rent this property. Okay. And it's disgusting, you know, it's just everything, it seems like they try, you know, I was trying to think here, I can't even think of an example. It's just so disgusting. Yeah, he killed the new FBI. It's just like really so disgusting. So disgusting to me. It's just like I can't. So, but then it's like, you know, since just like I want to get a thing about it, you know, just, and then this in a weird way. I mean, I see what it brings up. Okay, if it, I asked I put the list of, on the first list of questions on the title, I asked these people in the Trump administration who have stolen money, right? Even this, you could argue that this is a form of stealing money, even though it's like he's benefiting from his position in order to enrich himself. So is this money going to go? Where is this money going to go? It's so unfair that I'm not just talking about him, but everyone. Those guys, you know, Ryan Zynke and all these people, just so many of them. The guy that left, what's his name? The Pruitt guy. Disgusting. So what's going to happen to this? Are they going to give the money back? Are they going to be, remember there was another guy also, the one who flew? I forget their names because there's so many. Remember Tom White? Remember that guy, Tom White? They all do this. It's like, oh, I'm going on first class. Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm very special. And so these are the same people who a few years ago, no, government spends so much money. No. Government spends money. No, I don't like it. No. It's just, yeah, I cannot with these people. So I want to know, okay, let's talk about this lawsuit, okay, lawsuit of the emoluments. And then all the people, let's see, I'm just going to list them. You guys are seeing the Tom Price. No, wait, I forgot, guys. What's the first name of the, Tom Price? Is that right? Tom Price, Ryan Zynke. What is the other guy? Scott Pruitt. And then Ben Carson, okay? Ben Carson. Like these people, just random people, top of my head, okay? Are these people going to pay back some of the money they stole? Whatever. Like, this is the stuff that we know, okay? So this is Mnuchin, yes. But I feel, oh yeah, Mnuchin. Let's see, Mnuchin. I saw him going to jail for other things, but let's see what happens. I'm really particularly interested in money, in corruption that leads to them putting money in their pockets from cheating the government in some way. Okay, this is regardless of their tax frauds and all those different things. You know, so I don't know. About that. That's disgusting. Okay, so then, okay, so that's it. Then that's the emoluments cost. Because guys, think about it. And I was thinking today, I was like, think about Trump and the things he's fighting. Okay, he is so corrupt on every level, and these lawsuits that he's facing now have to do with his past, with his present, it's like everything. You know, now after he started the government, before he got into the government, all these things. Oh yeah, Melania. That's right, Melania's hotels, everything. So how can it's not even, guys? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You know, when you think about how yeah, just like, I don't even understand, how can you even keep track of all these lawsuits? Okay, so it's just unbelievable. I mean, how, you're right, how is it? Because I feel like, guys, I got this sense today. I was like, wow, this guy, he's not going to survive. He can't possibly survive with all these lawsuits going after him. And I feel like now I understand, guys, a little bit better. You know, the whole thing, oh my God, what's Mueller's not doing anything. I just got really upset because then you see there's so many things going on. It's just a matter of persisting and not giving up, not being like, oh, whatever, you know, all these different things. So now it's just like Jade is saying he had over 3,000 lawsuits before he ran for office. Exactly. But now it's the bigger, you know, it's the biggest law institutions, I guess you can call it, right, in the country. So it's just very upsetting. Okay. So this is interesting. Okay. How come, you know, and I'm going to ask another question that's related to this, guys, that one of the questions, I think I've asked about it once. I don't understand how he thought. I mean, maybe he's crazy. This is why. How could somebody like that? Oh, that's right. There was the Ivanka trademarks. That's right. Ivanka trademarks. That's just on top of our head, right? Don't have to think about it too much. It just comes up. That's just like dozens right away. So, but how didn't he think that he was going to lose? I think I said, you know, before it was like he was desperate. He thought this was a way up. But it sounds so dumb. If you have all these crimes, don't you think this is going to be exposed? Like, didn't he think that this was going to be a problem for him? What were they thinking? I'm just like, what were they thinking? Okay. All right. Now. Okay. And then, now, guys, the other issue that it's funny, you know, right? Now it's like so much came up. The other question that I think is very important that we should do today as well is that guy. I don't know if you read it, just posted. This guy, his name, I always forget his name, Alexander Acosta. Okay. So this guy, okay, hello. What an incredible coincidence. Yeah. Very interesting. Incredible coincidence. So he is the guy, okay guys, I'm not kidding. This guy Acosta is the guy who gave Jeffrey Epstein a break. Remember how Jeffrey Epstein got off easy? So yeah. Yeah. Oh, interesting. So that's the guy that Trump wants to put in the Attorney General. Yeah, wants to be the, you know, put in what's his name's fate, you know. I don't recall the job, AG. Okay. So it's unbelievable, guys, you know, but I want to find out because it's disgusting, you know, just the whole, can you imagine? And I'm thinking, guys, I have this thing, I still haven't transcribed that reading. I thought the reading was very powerful because it explains a lot of things, but I'm just thinking, you know what, I feel like the people who go into this government work there, they have to be crooked. And I feel like Trump must be very desperate. So he wants somebody who knows a lot about the blackmail, okay, because that's like when he's desperate, he's like, he knows the dirt about everybody. You know, so that must be why. Okay, but how can you imagine? I look at that guy, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Like somebody goes to his house and there's like photos of children. You know those things we read in the paper? Oh, somebody was caught 200,000 files of naked children. That's him, probably him. Bless the children, you know. So I'm not surprised. Nothing shocks us, right? But this is unbelievable, unbelievable. So, okay, so this is it, guys, right? So only those few topics. So, okay, so let's see if there's anything else. Okay, allies. Oh, yeah, that's right. Just quickly here, guys, I'm going to do quickly here. How are these people feeling? Like, because I'm kind of curious, and I was thinking of Robert Mercer today. I was like, okay, there have to be indictments connected to Cambridge Analytical because it's huge, because Robert Mercer is huge, because he's involved, Robert Mercer is involved in the whole, what is it called? The, Brexit, and he financed so many things. So I want to know I want to know, is there going to be indictments? So we haven't heard anything about it. So indictments related to Cambridge Analytica, Mercer, Facebook. Okay, so because it's the whole thing of the voter data and all the things. Are we going to see indictments related to this? Is this something that Mueller is going to look at, or no? Okay, we don't know. Let's see. I want to know. Yeah, I want to know. So, and then, okay, and then it's, how are these people feeling? You know, the Whitaker, yeah. So what about these people? What is going on? Like, I wrote their names. Where is it? Like, it was Parscale. Let me click on here against it. Parscale, Giuliani, Mercer, Thiel. how are these people feeling right now? Do they think, because I don't understand, okay? I don't understand why. I mean, don't you think if you're seeing this stuff happening, you're like, okay, so, huh? Or do they think that you're going to get away with everything? This is what I don't understand, okay? Because I feel like maybe, you know, they have, oh, that's right, Dershowitz. That's right, Dershowitz, I forgot, Dershowitz. Okay, so, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, unbelievable. So, okay guys, so I'm going to add here some information. Okay. Okay, 1 second, guys. Okay, 1 second. All right. So, you know, just. All right. So, guys, you know, I'm gonna have to. 1 second. My mother just okay. So. Okay. Thanks, guys, for everything. Okay. So anyway, so it's just I had to. My mother had something urgent. So anyway, so this is it, guys. So I want to know what's going on with these people. Can't they see what's going on? Aren't they really upset? What is up? Okay, they're just kind of like living life very naturally. Okay, hi, do everybody. So you know what's going on. You know, it's just like, oh, I'm not worried. This is great. How do you know? Because this is the thing I'm really interested in. Also, you know, from a human health perspective, how do these people survive mentally? Okay, do they think that? Do they really believe their craziness? You know, their ideas. Are they really like that? They really actually think that they're gonna survive, or is just they're just crazy? Okay, because it seems very clear that they're next. Okay, so there was. Oh, here it is. Okay, this is this. I have it. I have the cards too. Okay. So, all right, guys. So let's get here for information. Okay, guys. So, like I said, I'm gonna try this time. We'll see how it goes. I am not gonna start with cards. I'm going to start with vision and see, because it might be that it's faster. Okay, that we can cover a lot more. We'll see. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to hide. You can keep chatting. I'm just not gonna be able to see it for now. And then I'm gonna, you know, start the version. I'll start the version, and then I'm gonna see if I go fast. And if there's more, if I need confirmation, I use cards. We'll see how it goes. Okay. All right. So, oh, it fell. There is missing here. See, that's the problem. Some of the time these earrings are. So, okay. So anyway, so I'm going to do this. All right. So, okay. So, all right. So let's see here. First, I'm going to start, guys, with the North Carolina situation. Okay. What is going to happen to the North Carolina election? It looks like the voter commission did not accept the results of the election. What is going to happen? Will there be a new election? And will I don't even know the names of the people, but let's just say Republican versus Democrat, who's going to win? Okay, so protection. So let's see here. What is going on? Let's see here. So what is going on? Tell us. Okay, guys, so this is the thing. I feel like, yes, I think they're going to have a new election. It shows that they have evidence already, meaning they have, and I don't know, it's because sometimes I watch those TV shows of crimes, and so basically there's videos of them because they went to these people's their houses and took the ballots and never just threw it away. So there's videos, there's surveillance in some areas. Okay, there's people, there's information, there's evidence of them being in specific areas. They were able to track it. It's not, they can't pretend they weren't, because they went into a lot of houses. They went, and people know who they are in their area. Okay, so the problem, a lot of people know who they are basically. So the problem here is that these people who did this are kind of like and I think it's probably true of a lot of these Republican operatives. They are kind of criminal, like for example, Roger Stone, right? It's part criminal, part politics. So it's kind of like it's a bit of a gang scenario here. And I'll just say, guys, it reminds me of stuff you read about Italy, when they were cracking down on the Italian mafia and the government, how prosecutors had to, a lot of people died. There were bombs and everything. It was very serious until they they really made a huge effort to remove the mafia from the government. So basically, I'm not saying that anybody's going to die here, but it's showing that the new election is going to have to happen under a lot of police protection. I believe the FBI is involved indeed, and these men have already been, how do you say it? They were taken to the police or FBI, whatever. They had to give testimony and explain whatever. How do you see these crime shows, how they find a person, they want to talk to you, and they say, okay, what you're doing there, and this is the evidence. No. So it's going to be a big investigation, and it's going to have to happen again. And it's just, like I said, there's a sense of that there is some sort of hidden mafia really at work here, and people don't even want to testify. They're afraid, there's people who are in prison, sort of like a gang, almost like a gang kind of situation. But then I think there's, to a degree, the federal government is involved. And, but it just shows, guys, they try to find, it's a little bit like, it's in a different degree. There's these things when, for example, that, you see these shows when the husband hires a hitman to kill the wife. Obviously not the same degree, but something similar. The actual high-level people in the Republican Party don't get involved in this. But they hired the thugs to do it, So these are the people who, who do this job. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And for some reason, I keep seeing. I don't know. I have no idea about the candidates. I kind of feel like there's a woman. I don't know if she's the judge or she's the candidate, but I think there's a woman here who's happy is going to be involved, or I think probably the Democrat is probably going to win. But like I said, it's just very. Very overt, okay, and it's I don't know that much obviously about what happened in those areas during the Civil Rights era, but it shows that a lot of this stuff used to, for a long time, this stuff had to be hidden more like below the surface, and this allowed sort of like the rats to leave the sewer for a while, So it's like, wow, it's shocking, but they were always around. It's just that they were kind of more covert. Now they're overt because they feel emboldened, but I don't think it's going to work that way, okay. And I think that people who I think that even the Republicans don't like this person that they were trying to. This whole group is really not. They don't like it. Okay, there's something shady there. There's for a long time. Okay, all right. So that's that. So what's going to happen? Just quickly here, cards. Just so now, like I said, I'm not looking at the the thing at what you guys are saying. I'm just gonna explain the reading, and then I'm gonna after. When I change the to the next subject, then I'm going to open for conversations. Okay, so feel free to to talk. I just don't know what you're talking about. So I just want to know. Okay, so what is just a confirmation? So the cards say what cards? Huh? So they stole absentee ballots in North Carolina. They stole absentee ballots in North Carolina. Then the police arrested the thugs. Then the police arrested the thugs. We're gonna have a new election. We're gonna elect the good people. Put the thugs in jail. We're gonna put the thugs in jail. Everybody vote. Everybody vote. That's down. Everybody vote. Everybody vote. That's down. So, okay. So here. All right. So, Wow. So, no, interesting, guys. You know, a lot of money. This is interesting. This is not what I saw, but this is interesting. The sun, meaning you see something, right? This is exposure, a lot of money. The gamblers show the people's, and then we have the house. It could be that it's a house election, right? Not related to the White House, but it's the house. It's the house of over there. Okay. So then we have here the voyage. Okay. Like something foreign again suggests that there's something foreign. Okay. So, but it's just like exposure of the house and whatever is foreign here. I don't know that, guys. I really didn't see that this was a foreign thing. Okay. I don't think this, well, maybe who knows, it may come out, but I feel like it's a part of it's a full operation. Okay. All right. So, okay. I don't think we need more, right? I think, don't you think, do you guys feel like it was full on? I think it is. Okay. I think it is, what do you call it? I think we explained it, right? We got to the bottom of it. Okay. So this is it. I still think, guys, you know, this is super corrupt. So anyway, all right. So next, let's move on. Let's move on here. So now let's look. This is like this is also deep. What is it? So it's the Emoluments clause. Okay, so lawsuit. Okay, so what is it? What is going to happen with this lawsuit? Okay, and guys can imagine there's all these so many things. So what is going to be the outcome of this lawsuit? And my sense here today, guys, I think I talked about it, is that everything is happening at the same time, and it has been happening forever, but Trump doesn't see a way out, and I feel like this is going to he's pushing him out, okay, because there's too many things coming at him at once. And so that's why, in the end, I thought it was just going to be Mueller, but it looks like there's all this stuff happening. So let's look into what's going to happen to this. And then at the same time, we'll look at all the people who stole money from the government, what are they going to do, and what were they thinking? Did they think they're going to get away with this? Okay, so blatant, right on our face. Okay, so let's want to close the eyes again. Like I said, I was gonna say. So okay, so here. Okay, so now close it. I'm gonna start the vision. Okay, so now what about the emolument clause? Okay, so basically the emoluments clause says that especially the president, generally public servants, not enrich themselves through the government, right? They cannot use their position to make money from, especially foreign countries. That's exactly what Trump does. Right? But what about this case? This case was specifically about the hotel in DC. So what is going to happen, and what is the relationship between all the other lawsuits, the Mueller stuff and everything else? What is going to happen to this, and is this going to help push Trump out? Okay, is this making Trump think of resigning? Okay, well, let's see. What's going on? Guys, you know, it's funny. So the first image I saw was Trump. He's talking, he's like a corridor, and there's all these doors, okay? So then out of these doors it looks like giant table saws. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with wood shop, but all these like big saws that have huge blades, and they're huge. as tall as him or not big, if not bigger. So it shows that whenever he sees a threat or somebody coming at him, he yells like a dog, ah, like, you know, ah, ah, and he would back away because they're like, if people have anything that they've done wrong, they're like, I don't want to talk to this guy, it's too much. Do I need litigation? I don't like it. So then everybody would back away, and he was always attacking. The bully, like the criminal, the bully. So then this time his talk is and then the huge saws is like coming. He's like, they're coming. They're very close. You know those horror movies when like the saw, like right here, and they're coming. And he's yelling, and they're coming. They're getting closer and closer to him. They're like right here. You know what? He's trying, and then he tries to run. He's trying to run. He's like, oh my God, I have to run. I have to go. So you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of, he's very dangerous in the sense that he is the kind of person, just with his mouth. Think about it, how interesting it is. His mouth and his shady lawyering, he pushes people away, and then he becomes aggressive just by talking. He's incredible, right? He's so mean. He won that way. He wins that way. So then this time it's machines. Yeah, you're like yell at the saw. You're hard, you're ugly, you're fat. The machine doesn't care. So suddenly he gets to the point where he feels totally claustrophobic, and he can't do anything. Okay, and he starts to run. He's gonna get desperate, but he's gonna yell until the very moment until the saw is like right here in front of his face, and he's gonna want to run away. That's what it shows. Like there's no. It's not, you know, it's so interesting. The thing about Trump is that he's not a measured person. He's not like, okay, let me go be aggressive, and then if it doesn't work, then I'll have to think of a different strategy. He's very instinctive. Okay, he's a savage. Okay, in that sense, he's just by savage I mean he just lives on instinct in the lowest level, right? So he does that because that's the level where he operates, and he has won thus far. But what it shows is that, like I said, it comes to a point where doesn't do anything. It's almost like, you know, you say, for example, this idea of the vaccines or like poison, for example, right? So antidotes of poison, you take a little bit of the poison and then it makes you straight up. So it's something like, essentially, the government or the laws or whoever, you know, the laws are strong. He really pushed against everything he could, but people didn't give up. And it kept going, and eventually they learned the tricks, and they kept going, and it doesn't, you know what I mean? Because he's lying, basically, and the law is all about not lying. So it got to him. You know, eventually things get to him, no matter how much he yells, no how much, right? Because I think it shows that he won before with his shock tactics, okay? Scaring people, and you know, those are things. So now it doesn't work. It's all became a machine. It's a huge machine, and a machine's gonna go cut him up. Can you imagine? Oh, God. Should have a knife. Can you imagine, guys? I come here with a knife. Hi, I'm MBS. I have a saw for you, President. Oh, no, it doesn't work with the violet. That I don't usually wear lipstick. It can be, you know, a little weird, too much. But it's nice to experiment, right? So anyways, so what I was going to say. So then, this is interesting, guys. So that's what it shows. Now, okay, so then what happened? Now, tell me about the lawsuit itself. What ends up happening? Does Trump have to go into, what happens to the information? What comes out about it? Where does it go? So, guys, this was really interesting because it showed, you know, I don't know if you go to Catholic churches, is the churches I'm familiar with, they have these, you know, these little boxes that you can put money and donations for the church, okay? And it gives me a similar image that it's like one of those, I forgot there's a specific name for it, I don't remember the name, but it's the same thing. It's like people put their donations, they pump money in an envelope, and they put the money in that something like that, donation box, okay? So all these, and it's showing me the guys with the sort of Arab costume, probably Saudi Arabia, all these different countries, and I think Qatar and all the different countries like that. Not like that, you know, just generally, I remember just out of the top of my head. So people would go in there and put the money in the donation box. And then this money from the donation box would go into the, you know, to the hotel. But the hotel, of course, has some sort of a P&L item, line item. You know, there's the way in which all the Trump hotels have this payoffs to the Trump family. Okay, so there's a way in which either that they can expense things into these hotels, or that There's a special account that goes to him. It's not just that he profits from this, but that also once the money goes into the hotel, it kind of moves, it escapes away to him directly. Okay, so yeah, so it's true. It shows it's going to come up because, okay, so how are they going to find out the accounting system of it? Yeah, it's like it's showing me again that guy, what's his name, Allen, the guy Allen, who was the accountant of the Trump organization. And then it is showing him, and it's showing the two books. Remember how I said there's the one book that is the good books, and the second book, which is the truth. So he talks about it. You know, he's gonna be talking about that. He has to, you know, he doesn't have a choice. So he's gonna have to tell the truth about, you know, the separation of the money situation, and how these people would go there, and somehow they would give some sort of message to Trump, like either Jared or somebody working for Trump, like, oh, hey, I love staying in your hotel. It was sort of like a signal that, hey, we deposited something. We did something. It was like a way to curry favor. It's sort of like, oh, this person stayed in my hotel. And truthfully, guys, Trump did things for people who spent money in his hotels. Like, he really loves, because that's that's literally his currency is money. Like, what he cares about is money. So if you give him money, give him business, something like that, he loves you no matter what you do. You're just like, wait, somebody gives me money, I do whatever. So I want to meet. It's like, I want to meet these people who gave money to my hotel. Who are come on in. So yeah, very good, right? So very simple. So okay, so then what happens to now connected to this? Okay, so what is the verdict on this, and how does this end? I mean, how does this move forward? What's going to happen? Big scandal, you know, it's going to come out, this information. But guys, I kind of feel like, oh, you know, very interesting. So I kind of feel like this is, okay, how do I go backward a little bit? The image that I'm seeing here about this emoluments clause is an image that I've seen before. A long time ago, when I did this readings, you know, one of those readings I said, oh, what happens after Trump leaves? And there's all these lawsuits happening even after he leaves. So the image of the lawsuit that I saw then is this lawsuit that I'm getting now. It's showing that this is going to happen after, for some reason, guys, I could be wrong, of course. I kind of feel like there's going to be more shocking stuff going on, and he's going to leave, and he's going to be sort of like, you know, I remember this, I don't know which reading it was, but it was something, I remember seeing this, that by the time what I was seeing comes out, okay, this trial happens, he uses public defenders. Like, there's nobody, he doesn't have lawyers anymore. There's nobody from the family. You know, I actually saw Ivanka again, and I see her now. She has to show up there because the brothers are in prison. I don't know why she's not, but she's the only person in the family has to sign off something. She can't be there full time because there's too much shit hitting the fan. So by the time, like I said, you know, this whole thing becomes public, there's a trial and those kinds of things, hell has already broken loose. And it's just one of the things that has happened that is like, boom, you know, the bomb that happened. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so I wanted to say that. Okay, so next. Try to think here, guys. Okay, so yeah, so that was interesting, right? So that's what I think. Okay, so I think, what is it going to happen? What about this money? Is this going to have to give them money back? What's going to happen to, for example, let's just look into this lawsuit. If they're found to have received this money that went specifically to their pockets, what happens to the money? Does he stay? Does he get taken away? What happens? He owes hundreds of millions of dollars in back taxes that he never paid. So it's almost like they freeze all the money that's connected to him. It's possible they have even frozen those kinds of things, you know, because of that. And it's going to be, what's the word? How are they going to, yeah, there's going to be later the IRS is going to be involved. There's going to be all these things that they're going to take the money and basically pay back the taxes that he never paid. Okay. But there's also going to be some sort of a giving the money back to the country. There's just different things that they're going to do. Okay. There may even be a law that says that the money that's confiscated goes to education. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, but they're going to have to, because these investigations, guys, are going to go on for years. because it's like exactly like the mafia. Unfortunately, you know, it's the kind of thing. If you don't extinguish this, it's like pneumonia. You know, if you have pneumonia, you have to get rid of the bacteria completely. Otherwise, it's going to get stronger and stronger if you don't remove it. This is the lessons we learned. You know, so let's, you know, let the Kochs, they're good businessmen. They're such great people. You know, they're a little weird, but yeah, you know, whatever. Let's not look at it that way. And then these people become monsters. You know, if you let this stuff, that's what we got to the situation where if we don't do something really dramatic, where everything has to be dismantled and stopped, you know, to figure out where the decay is, and then clean it up, and then create the law to not let, you know what I mean? So this is why I think there's going to be some sort of reform. Okay. So wow, very good, huh? Yeah, very interesting. So yeah, so this is it, guys. You know, it's just like I said, you know, this is like really interesting that this, like I said, you know, I think we got the answer for this, right? This is what happens. I think there's other things, and it's just not. It's like like I said, there is in all his companies, all his businesses, there is a direct, and it's showing here. This is also why he goes bankrupt, because he spends the money. It's like he's, you know, guys, it's so weird. You know, this. He gets these businesses going, then he spends the money for his lifestyle, and the businesses go bankrupt. Okay, so he doesn't see his businesses as actual businesses. He sees them as a source of cash flow. Does it make sense? It's sort of like because before, you know, these businesses were private, so he found like loopholes or whatever. So now he wants to do the same thing to the government. The government he treats like a personal business. Okay, so then, okay, next, okay. Now, connected to this, like what's going to happen? Let me just ask one question here. Okay, first is the question, what were they thinking? Did they think that they were going to get away with this? One, and then two, like the list of the people that have committed obvious overt corruption. What's going to happen to the money they took, okay? So first question for Trump and his family. What were you thinking? Did you think people are not, like... Did they think, like, what were you thinking? Were you not aware that this was going to get worse for you? What were you thinking? Okay, Trump, just, I know, you know, I was in a tough position, that the cash flow, you know, could do better, you know, and it's showing, guys, it's interesting. It's showing here that when news hits that is bad, like, for example, his bankruptcies and so forth, his escape is to go to the ego. It's like, I'm great, I'm this, and that. So the way the presidency is almost like, the presidency is almost, yeah, it's like the greatest escape. It's like ice cream for him, or chips or something. Oh, it makes me feel bad. I'm so great. Look at me. I'm so great. I'm so great. It's great. It was just an ego massage kind of thing. And so he took it seriously for a while. And then I think the Russians, there's people who started pushing him. Hey, you should think about it. And the other thing too, oh God, this is interesting. Showing me here, Roger Stone. They always were friends and everything, but Roger Stone, even the Russian, he was getting close to the Russians. Like, you know, we should get him to run, because they wanted, just like the woman. Say, you remember the madam woman who's friends with Roger Stone. They want to put these candidates, and they even said, saying here, even Bernie, that was just, they see Jill. They want these chaos candidates who are going to disrupt. They always want chaos candidates, okay? So it's for him, they're like, let's see where it goes. And the Republicans were, at the same time, this is showing, at the same time, the Republicans were desperate because they hate Obama. They hate what was happening, because to them, they thought they were on the way up. And then look at this, what's happening. People just feel like they could have rights, they could do things, whatever. And at the same time, obviously, as you guys know, the lifestyle of middle class was, you know, people are making less and less money. Life is more and more expensive. People have debts and everything. But to them, they see it as a bad thing. Because I'm just saying, to me, it's really, guys, racism, okay? Is really that they could not accept it. They could not, no. And so they're desperate. They're desperate. And so the Russians saw this opportunity, and there was Trump. Perfect. They could manipulate him. They have all the information about it. They thought it was sort of a joke, but they were like, good investment, the right person. We picked the right person. And they liked him because, again, he was in the public eye. He's the kind of person that nobody would have thought, oh, well, who's this guy? He's crazy, because he was always, everybody knew about him way before. If it would have been just some random person that nobody had heard before, it would be too weird. It's like, who's this guy? I don't know. Are you sure? Or somebody like that. Okay, but Trump, didn't you think that there were going to be more lawsuits and that you would be able to, you would not be able to escape? Did you think about it? It seems obvious to us. Why? Why can't you think about it? You say no, because, guys, it's so weird. The world from his perspective is like a TV show. The biggest thrill that he gets is this idea that he goes on a stage and people believe him. Okay, that he goes there, he says, like, the sky is purple. And he can convince people that the sky is purple. Sky is green or whatever. And they're like, no, but it is. If you look at it from the direct, he loves, his ego goes crazy when he realizes he can sell anything to people, and just by kind of creating this, scapegoating others and creating this magical reality. Okay, so this is very interesting. So that's it, guys. He just thought that he could create his trip. Okay, his ego is that he can create a reality that is bigger and bigger and bigger. So if I can only be in a bigger stage, which is how he sees the presidency as a stage, then I can create the bigger reality. I can escape because I can create realities. Like most people can't. Can you create a reality? Can you just say, my house is blue? Can you make people see something that's not there? He just thought he was a genius. He can convince anybody of anything. So this is why. Okay, he thought he is crazy in that way. He thinks that the reality does not apply to him. Like literally, it doesn't apply to me. It's almost like, for example, we see movies, right? There is an element of movies that are obviously, it influences us. I was just thinking of romantic comedies, like, oh, you think that's not reality, or those things. There's an element of truth, but it's also fantasy. But for him, he sees reality as a movie. That he's a movie director. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's strange. He doesn't understand. He's able to remove himself mentally, okay, from it. And at the same time, he can kind of, he believed that he could get it because it does not apply to him. He's just very special. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think here, guys. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, it's just like really strange. It's sort of like, because it seems so dumb, if you think about it for everything else. It's just like a person, for example, a person's going to jump off a bridge and they think they're going to fly. I mean, something that crazy, he thinks that laws of the universe don't apply to him, and that if he were going to jump off of a bridge, wings were going to come out and help him and grab him because he's so special. Yeah, it's like, it is a kind of like, he sees a distorted version of reality. It's like, for example, it's a little bit like he's observing people's lives, and he thinks that people's lives are so minor because he's like, I don't know if you've seen, there was a Wim Wenders movie from the 80s, So Far Away, So Close. There were these angels that had wings, and they were in real life, and they could see you, and then they decided they were going to go back to Earth and live as humans because they cared about the humans. Long story. And so it's a little bit like, except that they were good. They're not like him bad. It's sort of it's something like this, okay, that is just like, he thinks that he's just like, he has superpowers, he's like God, and that he observes the reality of the world and does not affect him, okay? So, but then it's like, so this is the thing, because his self-image is so tied to this concept that he does not accept reality. You know what I mean? So if you say to him, look, you've stolen these things, we're going to go get you, you're going to go, no. Who are you talking to? Who do you think you are? Because if you think that you're God and that you're, you know what I mean? So, and the weird thing about Trump is his luck, right? Because he was born with money. He never had to work for anything. All he had to do is kind of like, connect with these really shady characters and increase, his dad saved him from everything. So he never had a real obstacle. He never had obstacles before. So, you know what I mean? So this is why he kind of continued to do this and so this is why it's a reality he does not understand. Like and if you go to him and say, look, you have to pay, like, it's almost like he's the kind of person that if you go, let's say you go to a bakery he's capable of grabbing a piece of bread and not paying. Like, right, you know, looking at a person in the eye being like, I'm not paying because I don't pay. I don't pay. It doesn't apply to me because I could do whatever I want. Okay? This is like, it's just weird. It's like he feels like he can go where others can't. The world bends to him. It's just like a really strange thing, okay? So, right? So this is it. Okay. So next, okay, so this is interesting, explains. So next, let's look at, just very quickly, guys, I don't want to get into a lot of detail, but I want to look at these people that have stolen money blatantly from the government by, you know, booking all these expensive trips, doing all these things, okay? They're super trying to get stuff from the government, okay? So what happens to them? Tom Price, Ryan Zynke, Scott Pruitt, Ben Carson, Mnuchin, then Melania's hotels, and then Ivanka's trademarks. Is this money going to be recouped? What's going to happen? Okay, so I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to say one person and then I'm going to see what I see about them. Okay, quickly. Going to close tab here. 1 second. Okay, so first, okay, Tom Price. What's going to happen to the money? Yeah, it shows that he's not paying. You know, he's getting these bills. And I remember seeing this, that he said, oh, I'm going to pay back, but he never did. So he's going to be getting these bills and he's not going to want to pay for them. And then eventually I think the marshals are going to go grab it from him or take his house. There's something like that, okay? He's going to be, especially after Trump leaves, because then there's all these friends who are, you know, giving them favors, giving them breaks, but they're going to have to, you know, take their house or whatever, okay? So that's his case. That's just, okay. So what about Ryan Zynke? Oh my God. Guys, you know, it's so sad. I see Ryan Zynke because I see all the lions. The nature is very upset at him. And I feel like, oh shit. I was like, is it going to be eaten by Jonas? Ryan Zynke. Who? Oh, I just had a man for lunch. What's his name? Oh, maybe I seen him in his stomach. So... You know, so it's just like it's just showing that he's a person who has created so much evil, like so much disgrace, disaster for nature, you know, natural, and it's showing, guys, and I'll just say what I'll just tell you, it sounds kind of crazy, but it's showing that the Alaska, what is it called, earthquake, right? Wasn't it an earthquake or something? It was created by those people exploiting, you know, I don't know if it's oil, because, you know, they're trying to get oil from Alaska. Now oh yeah, go ahead, I just take it. Yeah, why not? So it's really like he is directly responsible for a lot of environmental disasters because he's the Secretary of Interior. So he wants to let people exploit national, oh, this is right, guys, this is right, interior national parks, the wild animals, that's right. So I kind of, you know, I'm seeing here, I wish it was true that it's going to be here. He's eaten by bear. Bear? A lion? Together, there's no lion in the national, but there's bear. Ryan Zynke, why to go over there, huh? There's a cave. Yeah, go there. Huh? Take honey with you. Yeah? Take it, why not? Why not? And then he's eaten by, can you imagine? That'll be amazing. Yeah. Jonah's hungry, my name. Yeah, I'll go over there. I'll be right there. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. So he's just like, this is, okay, so what is going to happen here? Yeah, they're tracking his money. They just, like I said, guys, all of them, I think it's fairly easy to track the payments to them. Okay, they just have this incredible arrogance. And they were saying here, they were protected by the crooks. But once, oh, this is really interesting. Soon we're going to have laws, you know, regardless of what the Supreme Court ruled earlier, they're going to overturn some of it, or all of it, I guess. It's going to show, soon we're going to find out all the people who paid for them. And it's going to be very easy to trace, okay? So... nice parcel. Nice, great parcel. Okay, so now, oh my God, guys, you know what? I think I feel almost like I need a break because it's so disgusting, these people. You know, the break, like, from the list here is so disgusting. Next is Scott Pruitt. Yeah, Scott Pruitt. And then Ben Carson, Mnuchin, like, all these, it was disgusting. So you know what? Let me put this for I think I've had enough for these people. Okay, so next reading, I want to keep the list here for Scott Pruitt, Ben Carson, Mnuchin, all those things, because just for the money, okay? So that's it. Okay. All right. So that's that. Okay. So next. Now, next I want to, because like I said, this is 8:30, so let's I want to wrap up in the next 20 minutes the most, okay? So I want to do here, what is that? Oh, that's right. I have two questions, okay? Two big questions. First is whether Mueller is going to indict anybody connected to Mercer and Cambridge Analytica and Facebook. Okay, is there going to be, because as you guys know, one of the big parts of this election, fraud and stealing, is the Republicans giving, especially the Ted Cruz campaign, giving the Russians the information about the voters and them using Facebook to do all kinds of things, okay, and also possibly counter checking this is what I saw also, the database of Facebook users against the voters, the voter list, and crisscrossing that, okay? So is there going to be, is Mueller, maybe the FBI might do, who knows, but I'd like to know who is Mueller going to indict these people. And then the last question for today is, what are these people feeling? Parscale, Giuliani, Mercer, Thiel, and Dershowitz. Do they know that the law is coming to them? What's going to happen? Okay, so first, let me go here to Cambridge. Where is the what? Okay. Cambridge Analytica, Mercer, and that the group that's connected to the data and Facebook. Is Mueller looking into these people? What's happening? Yeah, I think so, guys, because I saw the image of a web, okay, huge web. And then Mueller first is obviously going to Trump and the people that are directly connected to getting Trump in, okay, and the people that are working in the government. So it shows that it's a little bit like you have a series of nets, okay, like a net, maybe more with a web, like a net, like a fishing net, something like that. So you have the people in Trump directly in the government, and then you have these people that are connected to Trump, but they're on the almost like a slightly more external net here, which is related. And in a way, to Mueller, this is actually a little bit more uncomfortable because it goes beyond the government and into the business world. So he has the help of the SEC and the IRS as well, at least several agencies, because he wants to look into how these people are, this is interesting. He may have, he has recommended the SEC to face, there's something here where he feels that, okay, how do you see what is going on here, Mom? Yeah, we could say Mercer gave the money to all these things, but at the same time, Mercer created these companies. This is why. Created these companies and as a means to hide this money and hide the work that he was doing. He was a foreign agent. It's just very dirty. To him, it's pretty straightforward. It's just like I said, he's going to, when he communicates that to the public, because he's going to essentially attack some businesses, okay, because they were making money from conspire against the government. So it's a whole other world in a way, because those businesses were, in a way, even though these businesses were huge, they were also betraying their country, right? So it's an interesting law. It's saying like it's a weird law, legal. It's not a loophole, but it's a legal world that is like, again, the combination of, it's new, right? It's like treason and then digital data, like all these different things. So it's showing that there's a web, there's a big web, and there's the net. So it's like it went up on top of him, okay, like all of them. It's going to catch him. And I see that he's very much looking into Brad Parscale because first, what's his name? Rick Gates worked with him and he knows about the money, how the money goes into the hackers and all those things. So he is definitely going to get Brad Parscale. And then he's showing. Then there's the connection to Facebook, to Peter Thiel and everything, because those people provided the data expertise. And there's evidence. They have, you know, excellent cyber researchers or whatever that know how to track, they can prove all this stuff. But in a way, for him, it's more important that he nails the other people and then he goes into this, because it's the kind of thing that is almost too detail oriented. You know, for example, guys, I remember, you know, here in this group, some of you may remember before when it was a smaller group, I remember starting to try to talk about Cambridge Analytica, and I made these diagrams, and most people you don't want to talk about it, not hear about it. It was fairly complicated for most people, so this is why he's very aware of how hard that it is, a hard subject to make a story out of. Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, it shows that it's not the last thing, but it's just something a little bit more. It's very unexpected, and he's gonna go, guys. He's gonna go, and it's interesting. I don't know how it connects. Interesting. It's connecting here to. I had seen this before, guys, about these Silicon Valley companies, one called Palantir, and also Facebook. That he's gonna go into the FBI is gonna go into these companies. Okay, he's gonna do a series. I've seen before a raid of Palantir. I don't know. I'm just saying this is what I see. Sounds crazy, but it's like all these men showing up there like it's a, like it's a terrorist organization or something. They saw the thing when they cover the windows with paper, right? So that people don't know what it's showing. So it's similar here. It shows that it would be covered up. That the FBI is going to go into these companies. It's going to be uncomfortable for several businessmen and also the world of business, because they don't know how to react. But it's just that it is what it is. They messed with very serious things. They thought they could get away with it, and it's gonna be. But this happens later, okay? After Trump not even in the government anymore. But it shows that the investigation in a way continues. Like it goes up and then and down and up, or that just as Mueller has, for example, given him, for example, Barbara Underwood in New York, right? She continues to do some of the. It's like it goes to different jurisdictions. Okay, so it's just, Mueller starts, and then these investigations are taken over by different jurisdictions. Okay, if Mueller stops, if he finishes the main thing, then there's just a small like they're going to go after all these people. Basically, nobody's going to escape, I don't think. Okay, so this is interesting. So yeah, the answer is yes. Okay, now this is related. Okay, now talking about the people who are still in Trump's camp, like Parscale, Giuliani, Mercer, Thiel, and Dershowitz. So how are they thinking, these people? Are they thinking that they're in danger? Are they thinking they're going to get away with it? How does their mind operate? Because I don't this is to me, guys, is very difficult to think, to wonder, how do these people live with themselves? How do they justify, how do they talk to themselves? I don't know. I want to know. So, okay. So tell me about the people who are on Trump's side. How do they see what's going to happen to them? Do they know they're going to go to jail? What do they think? Okay, so this was interesting. Okay, so for first thing, it shows that first there was a Parscale person. Okay, yeah, I saw the G20 link on Giuliani. It was kind of funny, but whatever. Okay, so I just want to close it because I just don't want to just make sure I say everything here or I want to say. So anyway, so Parscale was he sees, you know, it's like he's looking at something, he's looking ahead, right? So then he's like drinking a beer or something, and then he sees in the background like this police movement and everything, and he doesn't, it's like, well, just attack them, we just get bots, just get trolls or whatever. He sees that this is comes with it's part of the game, you know, we're always going to have enemies, they're just going after us because we're successful. And that these people have to believe it in order to do it. If they didn't believe it, they wouldn't do it. Okay, because they have to take basically a massive risk, and the only way to survive mentally is to believe that there's a way out of it. Okay, because like I said, if they were acting, or if they believed that this was gonna crash in a way, they usually would give up. So this is interesting. This is how they do it. So then it showed, that's one. And that this guy doesn't see it. I've said before, I think he does he does drugs to an extent, this Parscale guy. But he's also, like I said, you know, he has the religious, you know, Russian Orthodox thing. He's just crazy. Okay, he's far right, white nationalist, whatever. And then it's interesting, Giuliani, though, he's being poked. He feels that there's holes, you know, his body. He's being poked, and it feels, it's painful to him, but like he said, oh, it's not going to be so bad. It's a little bit like a person who's going to go through a very painful operation, and the person's like, well, we're going to have to amputate your leg. We may have to amputate your leg. And they're like, well, okay, maybe I won't have to amputate my leg. I'm just going to lose an arm. Like, he knows that he's going to lose something. He doesn't quite know what it is. So he just feels like, let me, you know, it's almost like his mentality is like having cancer and trying to survive cancer. Look, even though this is like you know, he's like, well, but, you know, maybe there are some odds that, you know, I can survive cancer. So, you know, maybe it's not so bad. Okay. So it's kind of weird or whatever. So, but that's how he sees. Then, okay. And then what is this other person here? Mercer. Okay. So Mercer, I've said before, a similar thing. He's like Trump. He thinks that the reality doesn't apply to him. He lives in his own world. He doesn't care. And I think they did. And the interesting thing here, guys, is that the way they did this, knowing that it was going to be a crazy thing, and that's why they are proud. They're happy. They're proud of how far they've come. They were motivated by hatred. They're like, we have to get rid of Obama. I have to get rid of all this, you know, what they call like what is it, culture wars, whatever it is, you know, the multicultural world. We have to get rid of it. So they're very proud of themselves. It's like, oh, you know, we accomplished so much. Look at how far we've come. And so this is why they keep going, because they mentally, that's what drove them. They're like, remember how we, you know, there used to be nothing. So it took us years, and here we are. You know, of course there was money, there was this, there was that, but who's to say that we can't do this, right? This is how they think. Okay, all right, and then that's also, like I said, more so. And then it shows. But now, what's interesting is that Peter Thiel seems to be the only person who knows, because actually he has a law degree from Stanford. So it's not about his degree, but, you know, he seems to be aware of what the risks are here, and he knows. Okay. So he's just trying to kind of maybe lay low or something like that. He's worried because I guess, you know, he has a name, and he's, you know, it's weird. He's one of the only people who had a respectable career before this, right? People didn't know of how bad he was. And then he decided to get involved in this Trump bullshit. And I mean, I guess he was probably always involved in this far right thing, hidden, but now he decided to come out, and it was the disaster. It's going to be a disaster for him. But anyway, but then, like I said, guys, these people are not, especially him, he's so rich that he feels like he's shielded from the problems that regular people have. You know, it's not going to happen to him because he knows people have all the money. No. Now, Dershowitz, it's interesting because Dershowitz, the whole thing with the compromise about the women, the young women, he's changed because he could never live with himself. He could never envision that the stuff about the girls was going to come out. So he almost preferred, he's just like, he just couldn't deal with it. So even though he's like, there are moments in he stops and thinks, oh my God, I'm supporting this idiot. I used to be a respected law professor. Here I am. But the thought, and he can't live with the idea of the things he had done to the girls. Okay. So this is why he's like, it's preferable for him to go beyond than to, you know, to be supporting this guy than it is to confront what he has done. So he can't deal with the truth about the compromise. This is why. Okay. So interesting, huh? Yeah. Very interesting. So wow, guys. So this was a lot, right? This is fast. This was a lot. So okay. So then, guys. Okay. I was going to think. Okay, so that's the other thing. Okay, so okay, so then now the last thing I'm just going to ask quickly, okay, and then I'm going to stop, okay, guys. It was quick. It was just feel like today was so quick. I don't know if you feel differently or however it was. It's just like kind of like me like rushing, but I think it was like I get to the point and it's like, do you think? Tell me what you think in relationship to the other shows. There's just like so much information, you know. It's just like it feels like it's funny because most readings are like this. It's just crazy, you know, how intense. It's like boom, boom, boom. Okay, so all right, so then let me just go to. I just want to finish with this question about that guy. It was weird. I didn't make notes here. Acosta. Okay, Acosta, the guy who was Secretary of Labor. Is that right? I just can't even. I mean, I'm prepared. Okay, I'm prepared if I'm going to see more pedophilia. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm used to it all the time. I see pedophilia every day. This administration is pedophilia, but this guy, just to remember, if you came on later, that this guy is the guy who gave Jeffrey Epstein a light sentence. Okay, so and now he's the one who's supposed to be that has the highest likelihood of becoming the AG. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. So, okay. So now I'm going to close my eyes. Okay. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to ask about this guy. What's going to happen to this guy, Acosta? What is the relationship to Epstein? Is he a pedophile? I'm just going to ask. No, because we have to ask, right? It seems like it, guys, unfortunately, let's get real. It's like the rule, you know, the rule and the exception is not pedophile, but most of them seem to be, there's a connection there. Okay. So let's find out about him and whether he's going to become AG. What's going to happen to this guy? Okay, so I want to know about the Kripo, Alexander Acosta. What's the deal? What is his relationship with Okay, so the first thing I saw here about him and this thing. Okay, so it's true, guys. I feel like the division is very interesting because you learn things that are like almost impossible to see right away. So with cards, okay. So then the first thing I get about him is that so there was the risk that he was going to get a high, you know, big sentence, Epstein, whatever. And that there's several, I'm not seeing their face, I don't know who they are, it's not relevant necessarily, but there's several very big Republicans and Republican donors that Epstein has dirt on, like real dirt. Okay, like you said, as you guys probably know, he recorded all the encounters, so he has real evidence of stuff that happened. Especially, I see, guys, big Republicans, I don't know who they are, it doesn't really bother, like I don't want to know, I don't care. So then they have a lot. He has a lot of dirt on, obviously, the Republicans. So then these people I see, there's like, it's almost like I see their shadows. Okay, three big of, I don't know who they are. They just three big ones of, like, I don't know, maybe I don't know who they are, but it doesn't necessarily matter. So what it's showing is that this guy Acosta is basically the slave of these guys. You know, like a lot of these people who are on the right, like exactly like what's his name, Kavanaugh, right? The reality, they like him because he does what they want. Okay, that's it. The reason why he's trusted, the guy is similar to Kavanaugh. Okay, so the reason why this guy is trusted is because the rich guys, you know, the big guns, go to them like, look, take care of this for me, take care of me, take care about that, take care of this. So this is guy, you know, it's interesting because at first I thought, well, who's this guy? He's like some kind of crazy, but it shows that he's meek. I don't know, I saw his face, but he's like, I thought he was going to be like some like, but he's meek, he's afraid, and he just does as he's told. And this is why they like him. Okay, so then, like I said, when this was happening, they somehow maneuvered to get this guy, because apparently I think there was another person taking care of this case. So they got him there, and they're like, stop this. Do whatever the fuck you need to do. This is not coming out. This is not, you don't want to know. You don't want to know what's in it. You don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. I don't want this to come out. This is never going to come out. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, yeah. So then I also saw that after, you know, when he got away kind of scot-free, I feel like, what's his name? Epstein actually gave him sort of, a gift, you know, he got with young girls too after, or like gave him something. And I do see there's something like, you know, I really like pornographic imagery here in his computer. I think I'm not saying that he's a victim, you know, that he was, but I feel like he was compromised, he was like made to compromise. They're like, let's compromise him because he can't know this stuff. And, you know what I mean? So this is how they save their skin, is that they can sense the ones there that could do illegal things. Okay. But the way that they protect each other is they corrupt the next person, so that they also so that it becomes their interest to cover up. You know what I mean? So nobody wants to, it's like, that doesn't make sense. So it's kind of like they have to protect each other because they all do this. So then if everybody's compromised, they're going to work to not make it public. And that's what ends up happening here. Okay. So that's what it shows, that this guy is a like I said, tool to them, to the bigger people that we never see. You know, could be people, I don't know. It's like, you know, the vibe I get here is somewhere between Chuck Grassley, the Kochs. I'm not saying it's them, you know, but it looks like them, you know, the older, kind of like much older, like white guy, like Midwest, kind of like big guy, kind of like nondescript, you know, somebody that you see, but you never remember what they look like, you know, in the sense of like, it could be any Republican, and like, you know, especially those like Christian. Yeah. I'm Christian. Yeah, I'm Christian. So because to them, you know, obviously for I think every politician this would be harmful, but especially to them because they say, no, yeah, that I took, you know, yeah, it's all about, you know, no abortion. No, I don't like abortion. Yeah, because, you know, but I don't want to say, you know, there's no joke for it, but I feel like guys, you know, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry, you know, protect the children, but it's just amazing. I don't know, God. Sometimes you think like, is there a God? Sometimes you think like, okay, why does this stuff happen to innocent children? It's very upsetting when you think about it. But these people have the need, you know. It's like, honestly, I think this evil is a little bit like it runs on like a specific gasoline that is about creating harm to the most vulnerable, and that's what they do. This is almost like they need it. You know, they need like a special injection of abuse or something. You know, abusing others, and that's what this guy provides. You know, and those people, they're kind of like, to them, it's just like a rush or something, and he has all the dirt on them. Okay, and this is like why it's so powerful. And okay, so then this guy. So this is. I just also have to say this. Okay, I have to say this because it came up. I was gonna say. The thing that came up here about him. So then there was this confusion about Whitaker. I still see guys that I saw before that I think he's kind of like a statue. He doesn't move, and then he has to leave. But at the same time, I don't see a replacement for Sessions. I think the whole thing. That's what I see. I see he's kind of like, it's possible they're talking about him taking over whatever, and then suddenly the government shuts down. I don't think it's a shutdown in terms of the government shutdown, like they're trying to, like, you know, the budget. I think it's like the Trump administration shuts down, like they have to leave. And he's kind of like running away, you know, he's like, oh my God, wait, what? It closed. Do we have to leave? Wait, what? Our office. Oh my God, what? So they're kind of like, he's sort of like trying to, like, you know how the Nazis, right? They all escaped when the war ended. So it's just like the whole thing's, the war ended. And they all kind of ran away and they pretended they were not Nazis. Okay, so it's the same thing. It's like, oh wait, oh no, that's not me. No, it's not me. It's somebody else. You're thinking of somebody else. It's not me. So they're kind of like trying to like run. He's like, oh, then they catch him. They're like, come here, grab him, because he's like a, you know, meek guy. So then it's like everything's gonna come out. Okay, everything he's done, and I think he's gonna like. I think, guys, I say fortunately, I think all of it's gonna come out about all this stuff, okay, and it's gonna be hopefully, in the end, it's good. It should come out. It should come out because, I know it's horrible, for us who can kind of see some of it, but you know what? And stuff we read about, but it should come out. We should know, because these are the people who are like, oh, let's take the immigrants. Yeah, let's take immigrants. Let's put them in concentration camps. Like, seriously, it's just like really evil. They really are pure evil. They don't want people to vote. They want to oppress. It's just like true evil. Okay. So it's just like, I think once it comes out, then it's like, what are you going to do? Okay. Because the whole thing with them, and I know there's like, okay, there's two threads here going on that's going on in the propaganda. And you guys know I don't do readings on like stuff that is like the talking points of the far right, but it's like, for example, the stuff with Comey, right? There's this woman she always like, I'm always amazed at like, the brazen bullshit trolling. Like this woman, they always find these women, they find these like usernames with like Hispanic names. And the woman, she's been commenting for years, and I know that she's fake. Okay, so then today she comes to, what about Comey? He's testifying. He's testifying. What's gonna happen to him? And I was like, thanks for the amusement. Yeah, thanks for the amusement. And yeah, you can go now. Thanks. Because it's just like so this is the thing. This is one of they tried to have distractions when stuff's gonna come out. And the other thing is the Jeremy course. You guys like, I'm gonna put a lawsuit against Mueller. He's treason, Mueller. It's propaganda, right? So they want to create whatever bullshit they can dig to try to turn it into a distraction. So that's that. Actually, she's asking an interesting question. Let's end it with this question. I know it's a profound question, but let me ask you. I kind of feel like it's the time. She's saying, I'll admit, Rosie, I find it hard to believe there is some kind of divine plan when children starve and suffer abuse. So let me ask this question. How can we believe that there, just from her perspective, just a kind of just a question, okay? Let's see what comes up. Sometimes it's really interesting. How can we believe that there's some sort of divine plan, divine order, when children starve and suffer abuse? Okay, let me just ask here. So how can we believe that there's a divine order? There is a justice in heaven, and or on earth. How can we believe it when you see these things happening to children? There's a child abuse. That's something for me too. I'm like, how? I can just say, guys, I cannot even imagine the people who do stuff. I just cannot even. I just can't. It's very hard for me to even comprehend why somebody. But this is interesting. So what about, how can we understand this? Because it's too hard. Like, why do children come into the world for this? Okay. Yeah, so it has always happened, exactly. But why, right? So why couldn't the world be a little bit like, okay, so what is the purpose of this? It's interesting, guys. It's showing here that they're saying, that in the spirit world, everything, there's perfection and there's always love, right? There's always that divine light, but that spirits and what is the connection here? Yeah, that there's a process of growth always, okay, and purification, and that in some ways the creation of earth, I mean, guys, this is like, take it with a grain of salt, okay? And I'm not saying being like creationist, whatever. I'm just saying what is coming. So it shows that the growth of the earth and men and women turning from animal, like quote unquote pure animals, into these thinking beings and people making choices. It's a gradual process of moving from the basest to only the pure needs, right? Survival, to something bigger. And it's this path of moving, leaving behind the dirt and the lowest of the low. So unfortunately, we when we create Earth, we brought a lot of beauty, we brought a lot of heavenly things, but a lot of it is surrounded by things that are human. And unfortunately, this is human. It's showing, right, that humans create this when they, I'm not saying, guys, you know, I'm not super religious. I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm just kind of explaining what's coming here to the, okay. So humans are connected to, there's an element of choice, okay, there's an element of learning, and it's a little bit like finding the way to the light, because if there was no dark, then you would not be searching for the light. So it's just like, it's interesting, you know, it's like this kind of like difficult game of humans, you know, we're kind of like that. And that's the thing, it's like people like Trump, right, they think they're like God, and this is the mistake. It's like you think that you're just capable of these things. They're not. The beauty that we see comes from God, right? In a sense, the greatest things in life, like say flowers, nature, animal, like the nice, you know, animals in the sense of like whether anything that has to do with purity. But humans, when they think, you know, it's interesting. It's kind of like it's kind of interesting seeing that overthinking and rational mind, you know, with the ego, right? To think we're so better. We always are trying to like eliminate or create and control. But that's the role of God. You know, all you do is like you work. It's like humans are so stupid. Like I say, in the sense of like connect in relationship to the divine, humans are so dumb. So the only thing you could do is really to try to do work that is in accordance to the law of God in a way, in the best way possible. I don't mean to be in a religious way necessarily, but that it feels like you're doing the right thing. And that it's kind of like, it's not the blind leads the blind, but it's about awakening to something inside, you know, the light that exists inside, and connecting to the divine while you were human. Okay, so it's actually suggesting, guys, you know, in many ways that the hell is on earth a lot of times. Okay, that the stuff that we have to learn is very painful, and that when we move, that when we move to the other side, it's like this purification project. Like I said, you know, it's kind of like understanding that we are limited, and that slowly we kind of open up to this light and we grow in that direction. But if we leave it for humans, then forget it. You know, which is kind of interesting, right? Because like I said, I'm not like advocating for religion or these ideas, but it's kind of, it's this idea that it's this idea that if you try, you know, this is really, in a way, it's kind of interesting and fascinating, this idea that, and I'm just thinking, you know, something that makes me so angry, and I have a hard time understanding why. Obviously, I know why it makes me angry. For example, I've said this before, there's this guy, you know, some tech person was saying, oh, how great, you know, Darwin, if Darwin wrote something like today, people would be angry. And it's this idea that the strong survive. Look at nature, you know, the strong survive, but nature, there's an element of light in that, but there's also an element of purity, right? It's not like they're like, the lion is like, I was a monster than you know. It's like I'm survive, and it's just a spark of life. But the humans, they think that they are just, this is the thing, is this arrogance that I'm better than somebody else. And the light people are saying, who are you? Look at yourself. You're not, you're just a human being like everybody else. And you believe the illusion that you think other people, you're better than other people. Why? What makes you think that? He's like, this is what, you know, what, it's almost like if there's a higher order here, is that what makes them angry is when humans think that they are better, like not, you know, it's kind of like when they feel like they want to oppress people, and that it's like they feel that the divine is difference, right? It's like, I'm better than you, so I'm going to create negative things for you so that I could get better things. But that they're saying that the divine world is not like that. Is that it's like this, it's like a light switch, okay, that you turn things on and you turn them off, you know, but it's not something that it's like you can create it yourself. It's just like it's almost like a sort. I'm sorry, it's too abstract, guys. I feel like, right? So it's just a simple. I don't, you know, this could go on for hours, but I feel like, you know, maybe I should go. But does it make sense? It's interesting, right? It's just interesting to see here. Then, so how can we deal with this? Because it's very hard to deal with this, knowing that there's children being abused and these people in power. How can we handle this? What is the best way to handle? Because sometimes it's just very hard. You turn on the news and it's just too much. How can we handle this? What is the best way? First, you have to always remember the divine energy inside. Know what is right and what is wrong, and that these people are going to pay for it, and that you always that you're always going to, you're part of this cleansing, okay? That it's like, but it's saying here, they're saying, well, but you're alluded to think that humans are so pure. This is a mistake to think that humanity is just like this, like wonderful people, you know, kind of, it's just like these, is this animals that have like, in a way, rebelled from the divine order. And it's sort of like teenagers, you know, sometimes like mean teenagers, like they think they're better, they're going to, but they're just lost. Okay, so it's just this process of understanding the limitations of being human and always looking for the divine order, because if we trust other humans to do it, it's not going to work. You know, but I don't mean to say that this has to be like government is religious, nothing like that, but that the laws and decisions should be made with the thought of the divine, meaning that justice and light and all those things, creating that world. Not in the lowest. This is interesting. Maybe this is the answer to the question that I had, you know, before about the guy seeing the Darwin thing. It's saying that the world, the way that we should create the world is the divine order, in the sense that equality, justice, light, and love, and not the human organization, which is like, I'm better than you, you know, which is like the tendency that humans have. Okay, that is just, you know what I mean? That is about like, oh, I'm better than you, so let me rank you and tell you that you're better, tell you that doesn't make sense. So that this is the thing about oppression, is that really what we, you know, it's so weird, guys. It makes now goosebumps, but you know what's so upsetting about these evangelicals is that they really believe that people, they just believe it, that like they, you know, here I am, you know, the will of God, but it's all about the human world. The world that they preach is all about some people better than others, and that, you know, that we could just do whatever we want because it's, you know what I mean. So in reality, they're pushing for an order that is the lowest. Okay, so anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I'm like, am I scattered? It's too scattered. But anyway, I just wanted to ask that question, right? Because yeah, because of that. Okay, because it just ask a question. It's not that there's going to be there's no answer necessarily, but it's just, you know, that it's just like an interpretation. Okay, it was just a moment. It's just something to think about, because there's no, it's not like there's a solution or there's an answer to this like this. It's just that it's like, oh, you know, this is interesting. It's saying that also humans are so disgusting. I'm just telling you, like, humans are disgusting. Get real. Look at the reality of humans. The humans are just, I'm not saying it in a way that is like cheap or meant to shock, but it's just saying that we should look at, this is why light is so saying this. This is why light is so important. This is why you should always look at the light. Search for the light, and the light is truth. And the truth is what helps illuminate, you know, it's like, it's what helps illuminate. And because it's saying these people do these things hidden, they do things in quiet, they never do this in the middle of the day in front of everybody, right? So what the way to heal is to bring the light and to expose, so that when we are shocked, you know, showing here, look at what it's saying, like, look at the Holocaust, look at slavery, like, people were not, if we didn't know, it took centuries for the slavery to end. And at the same time, nobody wants to know. They don't talk about, let's not talk about it, let's not do this. And then the same thing with Holocaust. People only got shocked when they saw the images of what was really happening. Okay, so it doesn't make sense. So it's kind of like like I said, it was only the exposure that if you had read an article about what was happening, it's like, oh no, you probably were not going to believe it, right? Nobody, it's hard to believe. But when you start seeing it, then you create systems that prevent something like this from happening. But that ultimately, transparency in general, okay, forgiveness in the sense of like no shame, you know, shame is a difficult thing, is what creates all these things happening in the hidden, in the dark, and everything. But it's like exposure, light, compassion, okay, and that's it, okay, because that's it. But they always do this thing in the dark. Okay, they want because the evil will never accomplish anything without the dark. The dark is 100%. Okay, is 100% necessary for evil to happen, because it all has to happen in the dark, behind the scenes. It's never something that is always covert. So, you know, So this is why, okay? So it's just showing that it is what it is, okay? So, but I'm sorry. I should, we should go, guys. It's 9/11, but okay? So I do have to go, but this was interesting, right? This was informative. Yeah. So, okay? So that's that. I mean, we can continue this conversation later, but it's just like the kind of thing that there's no answer. But that's what I got today, okay? I do have to go. All right? I think we got a lot of interesting material today. Yeah? Okay. So that's it, guys. Oh my God, interesting, huh? Interesting. So anyway, so we'll keep going, guys, right? It's interesting, right? It's actually quite interesting because to have these questions, at the readings where it's like, even if there's no answer, there's no one answer. It's like it just becomes this interesting discussion, right? About these things. Who can ask these questions, It kind of balances out the overt rational, the story, you know what I mean? So that's that, guys. Okay, so good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be big, huh? Tomorrow, what do we have tomorrow? There's a big date for Mueller. What is it? Oh, Flynn tomorrow. Flynn supposed to come out. Flynn. So tomorrow we'll have a meeting. Okay, guys. Good night. All right. Okay. Bye.